Good evening. Thank you for coming. My name is Christine Eck. I'm the director of the Center for Sacred Window Studies, and I'm so happy that you have come to learn about empowered postpartum care tonight. I am here with one of my team members, Nina Complo. Nina is in North Carolina. I'm in Massachusetts, and it is an extreme pleasure to be able to speak about this most important topic with you tonight. So our organization, the Center for Sacred Window Studies, has a mission, and part of that mission is to create comprehensive education for conscious postpartum care. We base these teachings from ancient Ayurvedic principles. We offer them for not only families, but for professionals as well. And we feel so blessed to have the knowledge that we do from Ayurveda and be able to apply it to the postpartum window, which is so overlooked in our modern day culture. And when we talk about conscious postpartum care, we're really looking deeper than what the Western model of postpartum care is looking at. We are truly recognizing that very, very specific needs of a mother's body and her mind and her spirit. We're recognizing that this period of time for a birther needs space, it needs quiet, it needs intention, and it needs the recognition that this 6-week, give or take, window of time is incredibly important for setting aside and devoting to having a period of recovery that will be meaningful and lasting. We're looking at how we can align our food choices, our drink, our routine, our herbal support foods, and everything we do to help bring a feeling of balance. And we're recognizing that there are certain routines and foods and teas and medicines that are supportive, and then there are foods and routines that are not supportive. And so being able to differentiate between what is supportive and what is not is really important, because that's not generally understood. In our practice, we have this saying that we understand that's 42 days for 42 years. And that means that we're creating this beautiful 42-day window of time in order to set ourselves up for incredible strength and vitality and vibrancy and resilience for the next 42 years of parenting, of being, of partnering. It's worth the investment in time, in resources, to create an incredible system of care, because it will benefit you long into the future. So why are we talking about postpartum care? It is widely understood in the modern medical community that we simply don't have enough available for postpartum support. Yet, even though many doctors, midwives, and nurses will talk about this gap, we have yet to see the structures put in place. So in this critical review article, this is highlighting the lack of support system that is here, and truly recommending family community support, offering support groups. It's meant to be a community experience. It's meant to be something that you have people who can help support you emotionally, physically, through this incredible transitional time. And educational programs, which is what we're offering here, we need to have more conversation and more general awareness that, yeah, we're gonna do our childbirth ed classes. Yep, we're gonna read these books about birth and pregnancy. We also need to be doing that for postpartum, and recognizing that these incredible 6 weeks take some forethought, and there's so much that can be done to alleviate this difficult time, for so many, it doesn't have to be that difficult time. It can be an incredibly empowering time. Um, but we need to talk about it, and we need to be educated about that if we're going to be able to make that happen. So what are the long-term whys? Why are we planning for a supported postpartum window? So some of the things we're going to see for birthers, for mothers, is a stronger sense of self, a greater sense of confidence, truly like a radiance, inner and outer radiance, resiliency, confidence in your parenting and in who you are, feeling that you've settled into this new blossoming of yourself as a parent, a heightened immunity, the ability to just in general feel stronger and healthier. And of course, feeling more balanced in mind, body, and spirit, because the Ayurvedic tradition, we understand health to be reflected in our mind and our senses and our spirituality and in our bodies. So, we can look at scientific studies, but what we're seeing here in general is setting yourself up for success on so many different levels. And for partners, for couples, this is an incredibly intense time for our partners as well. And this transition needs to be recognized. And when a partner feels supported and held and taken into consideration and empowered to know how they can be of the best support to their love, we're able to help develop clear communication skills between partners, having security in the relationship that, oh, I'm taken care of here. I'm taken care of by my partner. I'm taken care of by my community. Better balance and boundaries when we're able to recognize what our limits are, and know that I don't have to go past those limits. And of course, confidence in co-parenting. Parenting is a lifelong work and something that we're learning every single day as we're doing it. So when we have a partnership that feels strong, and the beginning of this new chapter of partnering comes when your baby is born. So let's set it up right so that you have the safety net to support you in these times when inevitably we're going to feel strain and we're going to feel stress. There is a lot of hard truth out there in terms of postpartum challenge. In fact, the fact that the word postpartum is implied to mean a disease or an imbalance is telling. So we have studies that explain that a way high percentage of parents feel a drop in their connection with each other in the first years of their baby's lives. Way too many women are experiencing some level of blues or depression and anxiety, and a percentage of partners as well are experiencing this. And when you talk to people, it is not uncommon to have them say that they were quite unprepared for the challenges that occurred in the weeks, months, years after their babies were born than what they anticipated that might look like during their pregnancy or before they had children. So that's like, sort of like we're setting ourselves up to experience something that falls far short from our expectations, but we're not creating the foundational pieces in which to experience the success that we want to have. These first weeks with your baby are weeks that you are going to remember your entire life. They will probably be foggy here and there, and that's to be expected, but truly being able to look back and remember the support people who were there, the foods that you ate, cozy moments in bed just staring at your baby, the bonding that is able to happen when you give yourself the space and the nurturing to let it happen. What we want is for mothers, for birthers to be well taken care of so that this bonding, this connection happens really naturally. And it will when the support is there. So what are we exactly talking about when we are talking about a sacred window? In Ayurveda, we have an understanding from Ayurvedic texts that the postpartum time is one that is truly, truly unique. And um, whatever healing opportunities are presented to a mother when she has her baby, she's going to accept those on a physical, emotional, spiritual, mental level in a much more sensitive and exponential way than she would at any other time. It's truly remarkable. And it's amazing to finally have that acknowledgement, because so many people feel it, that this is a time out of time. But in our culture, we don't have that understanding and that reverence. So what we see on a sort of elemental level with Ayurveda is a natural elevation of Vata dosha, which is a term that describes the presence of air and ether elements. So these are very high, they're very dry and quick moving. And what we want to do in our foods and in everything we do is to bring mindfulness to grounding, into heavier, softer, settled, solid types of feelings and qualities into a mother's food, into her everything, into her environment. So we're really taking into consideration helping to balance out this naturally elevated air and ether element. So there's a few tenets of Ayurvedic postpartum care. One of them is community support. This was never meant to be a time that you go it alone. We want to have people checking in on us, people bringing us food. We want to have people taking over for things that we don't want to be doing during our postpartum window. It's a group effort. And if we can set ourselves up for that ahead of time, we're going to be so much better in a place to really be able to relax and heal. Appropriate nutrition. This is something that I certainly didn't know when I had my first child, was that there are foods that are supportive and there are foods that are not supportive. And what's so important to remember is that, or to know, because I didn't know this at first, is that when someone has a baby, their ability to digest food goes way down. So to have a mindfulness about being able to rebuild that digestive capability slowly is incredibly vital to feeling good and healing in a big way. Rest and seclusion, just being able to have a quiet, cocooned space to just integrate everything that has happened and to let the body rest is so key. Oil application, a really incredible aspect of healthcare in the Ayurvedic tradition, is oil on the skin, and the benefits for mom, for birther, for baby are too much to say in a short webinar, but we'll talk more about oil in a little while. Attention to the heart, the subtle channels of the mind and the heart and the emotions. I think we all can recognize that postpartum is a time where we're sensitive. We're open to influence on so many levels. So creating awareness around that and making sure that we're sort of being protective of our senses, protective of our emotions, and surrounding ourselves with things that are bringing us joy and ease in our feelings. And ultimately recognizing that you've become a parent and this is a huge, giant step. So, so following these tenets and having an awareness around them is a big part of creating a sacred window.
What's wonderful about all of these qualities that we're sharing with you is that these are in our, what we teach, these are found in Ayurveda, but they're also found in traditions all over the world and across time. And you can apply each of these to any foods that you're eating. So you want your food to be warmer than usual, not hot, not burning hot. If it's a colder time of year, definitely opt for even a little bit hotter. But this is to support digestion. Actually, all of these measures are to support and gently build up our digestion. So you want your food more oily than usual, and especially in the beginning, a lot more oily than you would want at pretty much any other time of your life. Ghee is a beautiful option. That's clarified butter. There are also some other really wonderful supportive oils, such as sesame oil. You want your food softer than maybe at other times. So one way to do that is by just cooking it a little bit longer so that food is extra soft. And another thing I want you to think about with these qualities is that it's not just to make it more digestible. These are also just soothing qualities. If you think about the qualities, the feeling of like tenderness with chicken soup or just warm oatmeal, like those foods that make you feel really cozy inside. So it's also about the emotional qualities of the food. So you want it well cooked, just cooked very completely, and you'll get that with the softness as well. Plenty of supportive spices for digestion. There are numerous great options there. And also trying to use as fresh of ingredients as you can find for purity, and also trying your best to eat the food as close to the time as cooking, or preferably within about the same day if possible. This preserves that life-giving quality of your food.
Thank you so much, Nina. Yeah, it's just really, and what I love about postpartum cooking is that truly it really doesn't have to be complicated. Simplest foods are generally the best. Absolutely. I'm going to, there we go. So let's talk a little bit about herbs for postpartum. There truly are so many choices, and I bet you that you all have a number of them in your kitchens at this moment. A couple of my favorites are listed here. With fennel and fenugreek, we have some of the most incredible herbs for lactation and breastfeeding. And making a very gentle lactation tea with just fennel and fenugreek seeds is something that you can drink all day, every day. Just a very mild blend and blended infusion of these two seeds is an incredible way to support yourself with nursing. Not only is it supportive for creating great breast milk, but it's also hydrating you at the same time. It's also supporting your digestion. And this is something that is really important to recognize, that I also didn't know this my first time having a child, is that your ability to digest food during the postpartum window is really diminished. So what we've been eating during our pregnancy, the day we have our baby or the weeks after we have our baby, we're not ready to eat those things yet. And what happens when we are eating foods that we're not able to completely digest, it creates buildup in the system, in the body. In Ayurveda, we call this ama. And it creates creates a heaviness. It creates almost like a fogginess, like a depression, sort of an inability to feel light and open in the body. And so when we're able to take care of creating very mini baby steps with our diet and building up through the weeks postpartum, little by little, to what we can successfully digest, we're going to see a really smooth recovery, a smooth attention to our digestion, and thus the way we feel. We recognize in the Ayurvedic tradition that all dis-ease begins in the gut, in the digestive tract. So if we take care of our digestion first, we're going to avoid a lot of the other side effects that could possibly happen. And all of these herbs and spices that are listed here are supportive to digestion. Coriander, cardamom, turmeric, black pepper, these are really fantastic choices to include in a postpartum diet. Um, we love to create like a daily tonic that can be taken every single day to support cell rejuvenation, herbal snacks. There's just so much goodness out there to be had for creating herbal support recipes that truly are medicine, but we take it as nutrition, as food, and it's the most accessible way to receive nutrition is, or medicine, I should say, when we take it as our food. So oil massage, abhyanga is the term for self-oil massage. And what this practice allows us to do for a mother to receive oil massage, and this doesn't have to be a practitioner giving you a massage, though that is, of course, the ideal. We can also apply the oil ourselves and get the oil on our skin and receive the benefits. When someone receives a postpartum oil massage, and this can be any of these oils listed here, it creates a sense of calm. It really helps restore balance to the nervous system. It truly helps you feel settled. If you went into an oil massage and you were feeling anxious, by the time you were done with that, you would feel calmer. It allows the oil to be absorbed into the skin, and the oil, as it's digested into the body, is able to loosen toxins, loosen ama, this undigested material in our body. It's able to loosen all of that so that we can successfully eliminate it. It helps create integration of the tissues. After birth, we are truly in need of a reset, and we are ready for our cells to begin healing from the ground up. So oil massage, among many other studied benefits of it, these are three really poignant benefits. And for babies, when we can offer our babies oil massage, this brings a whole other level of benefit for them, benefit of supporting their own integration of body into world. They've been on the inside for so long that to come out, it's a big transition for them. And when we can apply oil to their skin and lovingly massage, we're helping to help their bodies to integrate, helping their muscles to start getting warmed up and stretched, helping their digestive tract as they ingest the oil through their skin, and it's able to nourish all of their inner tissues. For, I think, my favorite benefit for infant massage is the opportunity for partners, for dads, for siblings to be able to experience the bonding hormone release, this release of oxytocin, of this love hormone, is able to be released in the same way it is when we nurse. So birth parents get the benefit of feeling that hormonal release when we nurse our babies. But for the rest of the family who wants to experience that bond as well, teaching partners and siblings to do Ayurvedic infant massage is one of the most beautiful things I've had the privilege to do with clients. And it truly, for my own babies, I would do it for them until they'd be crawling away, you know, when they were old enough to just, and I'd be chasing them down with the oil. But it's truly an incredible benefit and one of the tenets of Ayurvedic postpartum care. So in all of this, we have to recognize that our current system is not going to take care of this for us. our current cultural system does not have the structures in place to support a great postpartum window. So it's up to us to plan for it. And during our pregnancy is an amazing time to plan for it. If you are already in your postpartum window, you can still do so much. But in our dream picture, people know about this while they've still got their babies inside, and they can really set themselves up for amazing success. So I'm going to invite Nina back again. And Nina, I would love for you Nina is also a mother of 3 children. And Nina, I would love for you to share with us a little bit about how it was for you to plan for your own postpartum windows and why this piece is so important.
Sure. So I would say with my first, I didn't do any planning and just like fell into a really great postpartum experience. That was nice, just like an intuitive flow with my partner. But by my second and definitely by my third, I felt much more aware of the need to plan, especially having other children. I mean, that was like one of the big reasons for me to feel more strongly inclined towards preparation. And I would say that I've noticed the benefits of planning and preparing most strongly with my third. I did a lot of planning, like a lot of studying. I created my own care handbook and like my own cookbook for myself, which even though like not like every single piece that I had planned came into place in my postpartum time, but it really wasn't about that. Like, I think that just the process of planning was really important to me during my pregnancy. It really set my mind at ease going into birth, actually, because as soon as, I knew from having 2 babies that as soon as the baby is born, it's like, you are, you're in the sacred window. Like, that's not the time to be planning. That's not the time to be directing people. It can even be like more challenging to communicate. I mean, that's what I experienced through and through. So I was really thankful to have communicated to my care team and my partner very thoroughly ahead of time. Like, these are all the things that I anticipate wanting. And I really shared with all of them and myself, like, knew very clearly the things that were the most important to me. And that piece of the planning, I feel like, is the most important, like identifying those 1, 2, 3, 4 things that are like the most important. And those things happened, like, so yeah, I think that's what I want to share right now.
Thank you so much, Nina. Yeah, it is the way that I see planning and preparation as being the most valuable is looking at it as though you're going on a journey. And when you're going on a big trip, you generally will spend a lot of time making your plans, whether it's making travel plans, whether it's making lists of what you're going to bring, of making arrangements for someone to come and take care of this or that while you're gone. There's a lot of planning that goes into things like, our births, our weddings, like our pregnancies even. And it really needs to be the same with postpartum, this beautiful window of time that is quite long compared to what our births may be. Um, when we have that type of support netting under us, when we've thought about X, Y, or Z and how we can create plans those things to be taken care of so that we can just be in our restful, secluded space. We feel available to let go. We feel available to relax. And I think really importantly is for people who have older children too, there's this phenomenon of when we know that our older children are taken care of, then we can relax and let ourselves heal. But our children will always come first. So we need people looking to us to put us first so that we can then take care of our babies to the best of our ability. So in this vein, particularly at this point in time where we are dealing with extra seclusion and isolation due to COVID-19, we realized very quickly that we needed to create a system for people. This is a time that may be harder, more vulnerable to have people coming into our homes to offer support. And what I want to say to all the people out there who are expecting or who are in your sacred window, you can do so much with your own awareness. So we've created the Empowered Postpartum Care course, a do-it-yourself course for expecting parents, because this is a transformation that deserves to be honored, and each of you deserves to have a truly sacred window. And the only way we can do that is if people have some awareness on what their bodies really need, what type of support they actually can expect to need, and partners feel empowered to know what to do. So some of the goodness that we have in this course are Postpartum Essentials, the ability to know a number of incredible support tools that you can use to help support everyday really common things that may happen, whether it's, you know, milk supply or breast discomfort or healing on any level in any place in your body, helping your baby to have excellent digestion. There's all kinds of things, belly binding, all kinds of support tools that are really doable and really easy. And if you know about them, then you're in a great space. If you don't know about them, then there's not an answer when you need one. Cooking for postpartum. This piece is essential in that our culture does not in general understand that there should be a specific postpartum diet. And I do not mean one type of recipe is the type of food to eat. What I mean are principles of cooking, like Nina talked about earlier, that are ideal for a postpartum person and what they're able to digest and how to slowly build up that digestion in a mindful way. Talking about Ayurvedic touch for birther and baby. So this is oil massage, knowing how to do it for yourself, partners doing it for you, and also how you all can learn how to massage your babies, which is a truly magical experience during the postpartum window. And finally, step-by-step planning to help create a system that you know is going to support you, support your partner, support your family while you're in this most incredible moment of time. So one thing that was really important with this course offering is that we truly made it above and beyond and up for incredible success. So we're offering two incredible gifts to go with this online program. I should say that the online course is housed in a beautiful, gorgeous website that you have forever access to. And what we offer you are these 2 volumes, Touching Heaven, Tonic, Postpartum Care with Ayurveda by the amazing, beautiful late Ysha Oaks, who is a pioneer in Ayurvedic postpartum care here in the United States. Volume 2 is all cookbook. And I will say that these volumes were my tried and true go-to for my years in offering in-home postpartum care support for clients and with all of the students that we teach in our school. We are also offering, for those of you who don't know, we offer an Ayurvedic postpartum caregiver program. So we train professionals in offering this type of care. And so our alumni, a number of them have graciously volunteered their skills to support families with virtual postpartum doula care or virtual prenatal doula care to help support you in getting ready for your postpartum window. And I want to invite Nina here to talk a little bit about what virtual doula care can look like, because in this day and age where we're truly limited with the amount of outside contact we can have, we're relying on virtual caregiving and virtual support in so many more ways. And I think it's a little confusing for people to even understand what virtual doula care would look like. So Nina, would you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that it can be a lot to process, to be thinking that you may have less support in home than you had originally planned on. And I know that a lot of people are facing that reality right now. So I just want to reassure you that there's so much that you can still receive virtually. And I've been both on the giving and receiving end of these types of healthcare and care, doula care, we'll say here. So speaking of virtual doula care, you're going to have more of a focus on planning and organization, preparation and education if you're connecting with your doula prenatally. So we can do a lot to help you plan for your postpartum time. We can start talking about communication even in this stage. If there are any kinks or questions in your partner communication, because that's vital to having a good a nourishing sacred window experience and just all the time in parenting. So why not start now if you haven't already? So those are some of the ways that we can help prenatally. And of course, emotional support, prenatal and postpartum, is a huge, huge piece that does not go away just because we're not physically in the same room together. You can absolutely give and receive emotional support through virtual platform, and that's really you can't understate, I think, the importance of that. And so also postpartum, virtually, your doula can help you assess your food choices and your digestion by consulting with you and asking you questions about how things are going, and can help you tweak your food choices and your approach to eating to help maximize your digestion. And that's a huge piece. We can also help you with your self-care rhythms and, again, communication, which can shift even more in the postpartum time. And another big piece here in the postpartum care aspect is birth processing. So any postpartum doula is going to be ready to help you process your birth to any extent, or at least help you get started on that process. And actually, a final piece that I want to share here is sharing resources is something that we do prenatally and postnatally. So yeah, there's a lot there. It's not just like, oh, I guess it's just going to be virtual. Like, it's still very juicy and wonderful.
Yeah, it truly is. And I cannot say enough about these alumni who have stepped forward to offer this type of support during this time. They're incredible women with incredible backgrounds. And so I do hope that many of you get to be matched up with them. So what can be the next steps? I know we've given you some information about Ayurveda, about postpartum care, about what a conscious postpartum window, a sacred postpartum window can be. I want you to take away from this talk that you have the ability to do so much with your own awareness. And we want you to understand that you have intuition within you that's giving you awareness, and there's also help and education and areas of resource that you can turn to help raise your awareness if you need any support whatsoever. Please check your emails, and we'll make sure you get a copy of this recording. We'll make sure that you get a coupon for this course if this is something that you hope to do. And please reach out with any questions that you have that we can answer to you. We will be doing a live Q&A on Instagram sometime, I think on the 7th, Nina, is that correct? Which we'll make sure to announce to everybody. And please, if postpartum care and you want to know more about this, parenting and sacred pregnancy, the whole gamut, we are committed to being a resource for families, for professionals, and raising awareness about this most incredible period of time. So please get on our mailing list if that feels important to you too. And we thank you so much for your time and your attention to this. Have a beautiful night.